Victor, if we take it back to the software side, I know IPI are about to release a new version of OCNOS quite soon. Can you talk to us a little bit about ways that OCNOS is going to enhance customers' ability to orchestrate and automate their networks in this 400 gig environment?
Yep, John. To answer this question, for everyone to understand the scale of IP Infusion and 400G space, let me just briefly explain where we are with 400G solutions right now. Right. So right now we are the NOS vendor with a very strong offering for both service provider and data center networks. So we take care of the both solutions. And today we have the widest support for white box hardware platforms. And particularly for ZR+, right now we have 5 platforms that are already qualified. And we will have 3 or 4 more that will be added from the beginning of next year. So we already have quite a good offering for ZR+ that covers a good range of applications. So today we can offer solutions from the high capacity access networks routers all the way to the large capacity multi-terabit provider edge routers, and also 400G data center switches, right? So we have a very broad solution right now together with you. So to make sure all this solution can work together and can be easily managed, for sure we had to implement all the network synchronization tools. So now we offer a broad range of tools like OpenAPI for integration with orchestration and management tools. So that's an industry standard for pretty much all the network orchestrators. We also provide our partners with a CLI to manage the ZR+ transceivers. And we continuously continue to incorporate the different YANG modules and the netconf for faster network configuration, especially with OCNOS 6.4. There are multiple new network resilience and load balancing tools that can be configured using the netconf. Also, we offer zero-touch provisioning, which was an element inside OCNOS from the very, very beginning. And with the new 6.4, we finally implemented the telemetry across the data center and also service provider routers and switches. So now telemetry is available across all our products. And also we offer an array of other features that elevate the overall efficiency and operability of our solution. Yes.
Super. Thank you, Victor. And guys, if we look at this 400 gig technology, we've been talking about the idea that it's relevant for a number of different industry sectors, whether that's data center, interconnect, or metro networks, in high performance computing clusters, but also with service providers who are looking to update their networks to cater for the new high bandwidth needs of the world today, whether it's video streaming or whatever. Are you able to talk to us about some, real world actual deployments where your products sit out there today? I mean, if you're able to, mention a customer, that's great. If you're not, that's no problem. Just talk generally about the technology. Gert, are you able to talk to us about some deployments that Coherent have out there on 400 gig?
Sure. I can't talk about all our customers, but there's one that we worked with from early on in our development, which is Windstream. They've been very public about our collaboration. There's been multiple press releases, webinars that we've done together with Windstream. So I can certainly talk about their network. So they were one of the first network operators to realize the tremendous cost savings that they could achieve by eliminating this intermediate layer of the transponder muxponder in their network and collapsing the coherent optics into their IP layer, the switches and the routers. Of course, there's a savings in the capital expenditure in having to buy less equipment, but there's also tremendous operational savings, just reducing the power. Electricity bills have gone up globally in the last couple of years, so that's a big deal. Also, they have lots of sites where they're leasing space in a colo location, so reducing the physical footprint of the equipment saves them a lot of money on monthly lease. And then there's also, which is kind of a hidden saving, but it's improved network reliability, because you have fewer pieces of equipment in your network. It reduces the overall probability of failure of your network, and it also makes maintenance costs lower. So that there's overall savings on total cost of ownership are greater than 40%. And they started at 400 gig in the metro network, but they're now actually taking our 100 gig transceiver that we're coming out, which is taking all the same benefits of the 400 gig solutions into an even smaller form factor, QSFP-28 at 100 gig, and they're pushing that now further out towards the edge of the network. So because they see so much savings going down this path.
Great. And I think Victor and Nanda will be delighted to hear that. I'll be asking them to qualify your 100 gig optic once that becomes available as well. I can ask them here in public, so it makes them harder. It makes it harder for them to say no. And guys, Nanda, have you got some example of how this 400 gig technology is being deployed with Edgecore?
Sure, John. I mean, I cannot take the customer name, but I can, talk about the geography where the customer is. I mean, this is a customer in North America, a large data center deployment. The ability to, support 400 gig ZR plus, the ability to, brings a unique architecture benefit for them. For this customer, I mean, there were many benefits that, Gert pointed out about operational efficiency and power. I mean, in this case, they also had some architecture benefit that, a single platform was able to, bring in both the data center interconnect and the spine function within a data center. So for this customer, we qualified 400 gig ZR plus transceivers. I mean, our platforms, as I mentioned before, are open. We qualified 400 gig transceivers. And yeah, I mean, not just one. I mean, we were able to do 2 of those transceivers. And the customer is, quite happy, deploying them in their network. And yeah, I mean, they are realizing, as we mentioned, not just operational and the power efficiencies that these transceivers and these solutions can bring, but also some architectural benefit in terms of having to architect a data center interconnect with the spine network that we thought was really helpful for that customer.
Super, thanks. And Victor, IPI, are you seeing some action out there in the market on 400 gig yet?
Yes, John, definitely. There is a lot of activities around the 400 GDR plus, especially this year. I believe we had a big reference story with London Internet Exchange, the LINX, yes, where they have upgraded their entire infrastructure to our spine and leaves using OCNAS. And so it started with London Internet Exchange, and then later they upgraded their Manchester's Internet Exchange. So pretty much all of the network is now being run by OCNAS for the data center part. So they connect around 980 networks across 80 countries. And the great part, we talk a lot about greenfield deployments, but this one was a very brownfield deployment, right? Where they first upgraded the IP network, and later they realized that because it's all now managed by OCNAS, it's very streamlined network. They can easily add the new components. So that's what they're being considered now. Currently, we run through the traditional transponders, and but the new switches also start to enable them to use the ZR+, and that's where the new migration already started, and they will slowly migrate to ZR+ infrastructure. And the benefit is that they can run the same in parallel with the legacy transponders, the whole infrastructure, and now they can gradually migrate to ZR+. So there's a great benefit to it.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Thanks for sharing that information. Gert, you've probably touched on some of this already in your previous answers, but sustainability is a major theme now whenever a company is designing any new product, whatever the sector. Are you able to talk to us a little bit about the role that sustainability plays when Coherent are designing a new product, especially considering, you know, some of these devices require quite a lot of power to operate?
Well, I would say it's all relative, right? When you say they require a lot of power. Sure, these line-side optics require more power than typical client-side shorter reach optics. But if you compare it to the alternative for the line-side and the legacies, it's a tremendous power saving that has been achieved. And since we want to fit into these smaller form factors, and we want to make sure that the Edgecore switches are able to handle these plugs, it's a real focus of ours to always minimize the power consumption of the transceiver. Of course, if you talk from a broader perspective, sustainability, there, as I mentioned before, at the network layer, there's much bigger power savings, right? By virtue of being able to eliminate huge chunks of equipment from the network. That's where the biggest savings are in terms of sustainability in the network.
Great. Thanks for that, Gert. And Victor, from a software perspective, and this is a little bit of a sales pitch here from the EPS side, so apologies for the plug. But as a software company, do you see a benefit in a company like ourselves, like EPS, offering your OS to the market in a bundle that's pre-configured and pre-tested and is kind of supported like a traditional vendor might support their networking products? Do you see a benefit of that for you in the market?
Yeah, John. So here it's a good question. That it's a big shout out to your team for sure. So to have how we see it, to have the vision of open networking. So just having an excellent technology is definitely not enough. We see it as well from our side. So we need solution partners capable of aggregating a variety of different solutions and presenting them as one to end users. So the value is definitely there. It's absolute. So EPS Global for years has been our trusted partner with global footprint and extended flexibility in selling open networking solution. So some end users prefer to buy every network component and assemble them themselves, but most others, we both, I believe, see it already, they prefer pre-integrated solutions. That pretty much how market was working for years. And this amazing flexibility, that's the real value of EPS, right? So EPS has always been able to serve both any type of customers. So that puts EPS today among the more mature, maybe even the most mature value-added distributors for open networking solutions. We can definitely say this. And that makes the procurement and servicing of open networking as simple as proprietary solutions. So that's what matters for our customers. That's what matters the most for us as well. So for us, you also have the industry level pre-sales and post-sales support services. So yeah, definitely. We see a huge value in the services offered by EPS. Yeah.
Super, Victor. Thank you for the plug. Appreciate it. Beautifully delivered as well. Good. Guys, we're nearly at the end of the discussion, but before we wrap up, it's always worthwhile just taking a peek into the future. Everybody's talking about AI at the moment and machine learning. Do you see any applications of these concepts in network management? Do you see a role that AI or machine learning might play in some of the things that we're talking about today? Nanda, from the Edgecore perspective, do you see where AI might play a role in the future?
Yeah, definitely, John. Before going into your question, I mean, Edgecore, in the recent past, we've been working a lot on AI technology, building switches for AI, ML use cases, looking at the software, integrating the software, looking at tail latency, doing POCs with customers, measuring job completion times, and really trying to, position Ethernet as a technology for AI, as, the networking technology. I mean, all this is, infrastructure for AI and AI ML type of use cases. To your question, how can AI play a role in network management systems? John, we already, have been seeing network management systems getting smarter and smarter, right? We see closed automation. I mean, we see NMS systems look at some, network events, like maybe an alarm, and take action without any operator intervention. So, I mean, it's not very far-fetched. I mean, I do see in the future that, NMS, network management systems, becoming more smarter, having some algorithms built in to learn, how the network behaves, and maybe how the operators, manage and troubleshoot the network, and, start, doing some of it on its own. Once it learns it, probably, it will start reacting, and, some of the operations of the network is, taken over by AI. So I think, it's not far-fetched. It's coming. So it's just a matter of time, and that's what I would see it. So having said that, so John, AI is now such a wide topic. I think you need a separate podcast, just talking about AI.
Yes, I agreed. And I know you guys all have products coming out quite soon that are all relevant to the AI world. So I'll take you up on your offer, Nanda. We'll reconvene in a few months and have another podcast talking about AI specifically. Guys, I really wanted to say thank you very much for your time today. I think it's been very valuable having all of you in the same room, so to speak, talking about how these products interact together. We're used to doing podcasts, but we normally do them with one vendor or another vendor separately, and talking about their products in a vacuum. It's been really helpful, I think, to have the three of you together in the same podcast, talking about your products, but not just how they stand alone, but also how they interact with each other's. I think that's been really helpful. And I'd also like to say thanks to you for actually doing the work on the qualification side. So, you've all invested time and effort in qualifying these parts so that they work together. That enables us as the kind of facilitator to be able to go out to the market and offer these bundles to the customers, having already done the qualification, and be able to, to say clearly that work is done and these products will work together. And that's a real big advantage for us in being able to try and market and sell this bundle. So really appreciate that. Special thanks to Coherent, by the way. This is the first time, Gert, that Coherent have participated in our podcast series. So I think it's been
an honor, and yeah, value the collaboration with EPS and also with IP Infusion and Edgecore. I think, yeah, as you said, it's a tremendous value of being able to offer an integrated solution to network operators.
Thank you. And I guess finally, I just say to our listeners, if you have any questions as a result of what we've discussed here today, we would welcome those questions, and we'd ask you to reach out to our sales teams. You can find all the contacts of our sales teams all over the world. Wherever you're located, you should be able to find an EPS salesperson relatively nearby, and you'll find all those details on our website at www.epsglobal.com. Thank you very much.